What's up, everyone? Welcome to episode 1 of Moneylines, the eSports betting podcast, presented by action.gg. My name's Reed, and I'm here with my co-host, Way. Say what's up.
Hey, what's up?
What's up? Alright, I'm just going to since it's episode 1, give a little background on myself and Way. We've been playing Call of Duty for a long time.
Forever, COD 4.
Yeah, for 10 plus years now. I personally played competitively pretty hard, and I took it real seriously, Black Ops 1, Modern Warfare 3, and then went to college. Life happened, stopped playing as much. Still play the wagers in GB every now, but I follow along on Call of Duty pretty hardcore. And at college I learned about betting, and that's where my life took a downward spiral. Found myself betting on really random games, and now I pretty much exclusively bet on eSports, mostly Call of Duty, but I'm starting to follow along heavy on CSGO, League of Legends, Overwatch eventually. But yeah, that's a little background on me.
Alright. Yep, my name's Way. I started playing COD 4 when I was in high school. I found a little bit of success in Modern Warfare 2 and Black Ops 1. I've always been a gambler. When I turned 18 is my first time I went on a casino boat. And I knew I've always wanted to try it one day, so I eventually became a casino dealer. I dealt every game, I bet every bet you can imagine. And finally, when they got Call of Duty lines up for my website, I thought, we got to make a website for this. And here we are. And I've made some decent money on it, so we're going to pass it on to you guys.
Yeah, here we are. We've been riding a bit of a heater with this global pro league. We've picked some good winners here, made some pretty good money to start off the season, and even breaking into other games. And so our website, action.gg, that's where we're posting our picks for the day on various game titles. We're going to post this podcast on there, obviously. Have some hot takes. Way had a nice article the other day talking about Slasher being the best player in the world for the past 3 years.
Which he was.
Got a lot of,
Which he was.
Yeah, you got to respect him.
Of course.
So that's kind of what to expect from our website. You can win free money and get some entertainment.
Yeah, we're gonna be doing a lot with it. We're gonna have a podcast. We're gonna try to do weekly hot take opinion articles. It's coming from two guys that have played Call of Duty for 10 years. I mean, we know what we're looking for. We know what we're seeing, and we're just gonna have free picks every single day, which should help out everybody.
Yeah, for sure. This first episode, it's gonna be a little bit different because CWL Atlanta is happening, the big open event for Call of Duty. In the following weeks, the podcast will be more spread out across more games, most likely. But this one, we're strictly looking at Call of Duty and CWL Atlanta. So we're going to start off going through the pools real quickly, just picking who we think is going to advance from the pools. And then once we get through that, we're going to hit some lines for the Friday games and hopefully win you guys some money. So we'll start off with Pool A here. It's Rise, Splice, Echo Fox, and now Lightning Pandas since Epsilon is no longer attending. And then the open bracket team. I think the number
it should
one
be
seed
Cole,
open
yeah.
bracket.
It should be Complexity.
That's who the open bracket ends up being.
That's who it should be. Yeah, if they win out. Yeah.
Okay. So it'll be Rise, Splice, Echo Fox, Lightning Pandas, potentially Cole. I don't see Lightning Pandas doing much. They struggled at that Canadian event last weekend. Yeah. I think they'll end up 4th or 5th in the pool. And then I see the open bracket team 4th or 5th. Rise, Splice, Echo Fox, that's who I see fighting for the top 2 spots. Rise, I think, is making a case that they're the best team in the world right now.
I don't see how they do not make it out of Group A. That's how good they're playing. They're 13-1 in their division. I mean, they've just been playing lights out.
Yeah, they're pretty much a lock right now. So I guess fighting for the number 2 spot in our eyes is Splice and Echo Fox. It's kind of Echo Fox started playing a little bit better in the second stage of theirs. Splice, I don't know, they never really got things
No, not
going. It
really. I
felt
mean,
like
they had Felony, and they played decent. And then when they got Jerd back, everybody expected them to play great. But I mean, they played decent as well. But Echo Fox, they started off pretty bad, pretty slow. Once they got that confidence back, they were beating a lot of good teams and taking a lot of good teams at Game 5. So me personally, I'm taking Echo Fox as the number 2
yeah,
spot.
I, I respect it. Splice, they had the good first event, placed second, right? Then they came into NOLA. Everyone thought they'd have another repeat of that, get at least the top 4. And they went out real early
Yeah, there's a lot of
in
upset
NOLA.
teams. Like Optic got out early. I mean, like with the
Yeah,
STG meta, things changed.
yeah. And I was expecting Splice once the Pro League came to really take it to another level, but they just haven't.
Yeah, I did too.
I'm still taking Splice though as my second team out, just because I want them to get it
Yeah,
together.
you
It's
can't.
more so I want it to happen, more so than if I would base it off performance lately, I would say Echo Fox, but I just think Splice, they'll finally get something rolling and get out of this group.
I 100% agree. I mean, they can go off at any moment. I just personally think Echo Fox is on the upswing, Splice is on the downswing. That's why I picked Echo Fox. But there's no doubt in
Yeah,
my mind Splice can turn up and make a real big performance.
yeah.
All right, so let's move on to Group B here. We got Luminosity, Team Caliber, Evil Geniuses, and Team Vitality. Who you liking, Reed?
LG lock. Fucking write it home, send it home.
Yeah.
Put your money on it.
Oh, for sure.
I see them definitely. I would say almost as much of the lock as Rise for making it out. Vitality, no chance. Open bracket, no chance. I don't even know who it is. It's probably Taboo or GGA.
Or yeah, GG Orange or
It's one of
something.
the
But I mean,
yeah, one
open
of those
bracket,
teams.
except for the first event of the year, I don't see open bracket really playing a big part anymore. You know,
Yeah,
so
I mean, just the practice team those pro teams are getting is just making the divide between amateur and pro
yeah.
so vast. It's tough, but I mean, GGEA did look good at that Canadian event.
Yeah,
so,
they did. I mean, they didn't have that much competition. United has been playing that well lately, but like to
Yeah,
go in there and win an event that nobody expects you to win, I mean, that's got to stand for something. And those guys have been together forever.
yeah, for sure. So for second place, I think it's a fight between TK and EG. Both teams been pretty bad lately, to be honest. Um, TK, I guess, right at the end of their stage, they kind of got it back
Yeah,
together.
they closed it back because Kenny was playing a little bit better. I think he's pretty much the X factor. Is shown that when he plays good, they play good. But he was looking so bad in the pro league.
Yeah, yeah. I think TK gets out, but it wouldn't surprise me if EG does. If some, but I think LG TK are my two for this group.
Yeah, I got LG as a lock, but I'm just gonna take Evil Geniuses here because I think Apathy has been playing so out of his mind as a sub player.
Yeah,
Aches has been
he's a
looking pretty
beast.
decent, and they got a veteran like Nameless and a decent AR player like Enable that can just. I mean, they could go toe to toe with Team Caliber's talent, and
Yeah,
if they're
yeah,
really hungry for it, I mean, they got 8th place at NOLA, so I mean, they're not like a
yeah.
horrible
That's
team.
true.
They can easily come out, but I just gotta bet against the team that's on the downswing and bet against the team that can show potential. That's just me.
Yeah, I got you. Yeah, we'll see which TK shows up. The one who won back-to-back events, or the one who says global pro league matches don't matter and they lose.
I mean, you love their confidence, though.
Yeah, I mean, accuracy's ego is on another level at this point. That's for sure. Maybe rightfully so. He's
I mean,
playing well.
you win 2 events, you're right to do it.
Yeah, yeah. All right, we'll move on to Pool C now. This is the fun one.
The group of death.
Yep. Optic, FaZe, Era, E United. I can't even say there's really a lock in this group with the way all these teams are playing.
Oh, they all look so good, don't they?
Yeah,
I mean, except for E United, but I mean, they've shown what they can do.
yeah. Who knows what E United will show up this weekend? Who know? It's still up in the air if Clayster is coming to the event.
Yeah.
At this point, if he doesn't come to the event, if once you see that announcement, you go to your bookie and you bet every matchup that you see that the opposite of E United, every single one, because there's some pretty good odds on E United games.
Yeah, I'd make an argument that you do that now because if you did that the same way in the Pro League, you would have made good money.
Yeah,
Just the way they were losing every single match.
yeah,
But
but I, it's a tough one. I don't see Era making it out.
see, that's
Um,
what I don't get. Like they drop Bevels, who's pretty much just like the dirty work guy, and they bring in just a solid Slayer like that could help them. I mean, they've been playing good in the second week of the Pro League, but I just don't
yeah,
know with a brand new player like that soon an event. I mean,
yeah.
who knows
Well,
what they're
they
gonna
did.
do?
It's weird because they had Blast on their team at one point, then
Yeah,
they dropped him, then he
then bring
left,
him
then
back.
Bevels joined, then Bevels got dropped, then Blast came back. So it's like they've played before. I'm not really sure why. I guess it was because who that sent what was it, Next Threat, that one event, he was just offering money to anyone that would leave Ricky's team basically.
Yeah, yeah,
And Blast left. So that's the reason why. But I guess from the beginning, I remember back when that was starting, Ricky was really looking forward to playing with Blast at NOLA.
yeah.
He said that team looked really solid, and I think they placed top 8 even after Blast left.
And Ricky's a guy. I mean, we played against him in the old days, man. Like he's a guy who knows his
Yeah,
Call of Duty. He's the type of guy who's never gonna go off. But if he thinks the team's good, like he knows what he's looking for. He's seen it for a decade, pretty much. So, I mean, if he thinks they're gonna go off with Blast, I mean, I'll believe him. Especially because they were doing
yeah,
so good in the Pro League with Bevels.
yeah. I mean, if they place top 8 with Bevels and
Yep.
they think they're better with Blast, who knows what could happen?
Yep.
And they haven't been they've been looking okay in the Global Pro League. They kind of have a bit of a choking problem, I would say.
I think it's just inexperience. Like, you
Yeah,
just look at some of the plays they make, it's just inexperience. It's bad rotations, bad kill streaks, like stuff that if they clean up their game, they can easily, with just the talent they have, get higher than top 8, I think, maybe even top 4.
yeah,
But for
yeah.
this
I
group,
could see that happening.
I mean, I'm going to go with the standard. I'm going to go Optic. I mean, they've shown why they're the best.
Yeah,
And then FaZe, who's been playing super, super solid. I mean, the way they run 3 subs, I mean, they're unstoppable. Especially Zuma's
yeah,
back to form.
yeah. Zuma is a monster
I
right
mean,
now.
he's so underrated right now.
He could be the best player in the world right now.
I really
How he's
do.
been playing.
Yeah, I think he's playing like in the pro league. He's been playing better than Kenny, or pretty much better than
Yeah,
any sub.
yeah. I think Kenny was hands down the best sub the first 2 events.
Yeah,
I think people have been catching up now. Tommy's been playing incredible.
yeah,
And I could see him. I think he's taking over the top spot right now.
yeah,
But I'm going Optic Phase as well.
yeah.
I
That's pretty standard.
I just don't see Air or United really pulling it together. I could see either of those teams making a run once they get into losers bracket though, for sure.
Yeah, for sure. All right, so let's move on to Group D. Last group here. We got Team Envy, Red Reserve, Unilad, and Mind Freak. Which I think this is a pretty standard one here too. Uh,
It it is, yeah, but there's also an upset factor I could see
I mean,
happening.
I personally, I'm a big fan of Unilad. Like
Yeah,
with Scraps playing the way he's playing, and I'm even a fan of Mind Freak, just the way they've turned
yeah,
up
for
versus
sure.
good teams. But I mean, would you really trust your money on Unilad or Mind Freak beating these teams and getting out of the group? You know
Yeah,
what I mean? Like if you had to bet money on it, are you going to pick Unilad or Mind Freak, or are you picking the easy, safe routes, which have
yeah. I mean,
proven time and time?
Unilad should have beaten multiple. I remember in both events they ended up like choking game 5s to good teams to get into the top 12, top 8 range. I think they finished top 16 both events,
Yeah,
but they were like on the verge both events of either getting out of pool play or advancing through losers, and they just lost game 5s. Um, and I think Mind Freak is kind of in that same way. They could beat anyone, but they're not clutching up when they need to.
I mean, Fighter and Shocks have been playing great.
Yeah,
I mean, for two
Yeah,
guys to come from Australia, not known for their slaying prowess and slay the way they do against teams like Optic, I mean, I'll give them credit on that.
yeah, it's nice to see Australian teams get this practice.
Yeah, they did get
Because I
relegated
mean,
though. Let's not forget.
yeah, I think they'll stay up though. I don't, all these open teams, I
Yeah,
don't
I
know.
mean they're the type of team that's just always an anchor in the league. Like they're never gonna surprise anybody, but they're just always there. You know what I mean? Just because their four is so solid and they play together so long, like
Yeah,
I'll never count them out. You know. But
yeah,
for this group, I'm gonna pick the easy ones. I'm gonna go Team Envy and Red Reserve to make it out.
yeah. I'm taking those two as well. I think will get the top spot, and Red will take second.
Yep.
So that's our pools. We've got, I mean, but pretty much all the pools have a possibility of three, at least three teams that are in potentially getting out, if not four for some of these
Yeah,
groups.
yeah.
So it's going to be interesting to see how it plays out.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it as well. I mean, we picked kind of the favorites, and there's always that one surprise team, so I'm excited to see which one that one's going to be this year. But let's move on to our matchups.
Yeah.
I'm just going to give a brief explanation to people that don't gamble. Um, let's just take our first line, for example. We got FaZe minus 700 versus Era plus 400. Now, some people might think, oh, I don't know what that means. Basically, when you see a minus, that's a favorite. So obviously, people are going to think FaZe is going to be Era. And when you see minus 700, that means you have to bet $700 to win $100. So you can obviously see that's a big favorite. And it's the opposite for plus. So plus means you're the underdog. People don't expect you to win. For Era, if you bet 100, you win 400. So when we go through all the lines, just keep that in mind. And when you see a bigger minus and bigger pluses, that just shows you how much parity there is, versus each other.
Yes, sir. So yeah, let's take a look at this first matchup. FaZe versus Era. It's one of the 2 p.m. matchups on Friday, 2 p.m. Eastern time. That is.
Yep.
I think this one's pretty straightforward. FaZe winning. I wouldn't bet on it. You don't get very good odds off of it. But I see FaZe winning.
Yeah, I wrote here that FaZe should easily win this one. But you got to remember, they struggle at group stages. Last tournament in NOLA, they only won because Mind Freak won their match. They went 2-2 in pools. So,
Yep,
I mean, that
that's
might be
right.
something to keep in mind, especially with Era, where we're not going to know what we're going to get right now because they have a new team.
Mm-hmm.
But this is going to be a pass for me, too.
Yeah, I'm not betting on it. I see FaZe winning. It's not really in a straight up betting matchup. It's not worth it
Yeah.
putting any money on this.
All right, so let's move on to our second line. We got Optic Gaming minus 225 versus E United plus 160 at 2 p.m. What do you think, Reed?
I'm taking Optic. With or without Clayster, I'm taking Optic,
That's
and I would bet on it.
Yeah, I'm betting on it too. I would bet it all the way up to minus 300. I think you get some pretty good value here with Optic. The way E United has been playing in the tournaments, in the Pro League, like they just don't look like they're showing up. Like I don't know what's
Yeah,
going on with them, but I would take Optic here. Even laying the heavy chalk, I would take them.
yeah, and even if Clayster comes, there's no way. I mean, I doubt United scrim this week with what's going on with Clayster. So
Yeah.
I doubt they've had a chance to work on anything that was going wrong for them at the Canadian event. So I'm going heavy in on Optic on this game, honestly.
I agree with you.
Next matchup, we got Rise, which is at minus 175 versus Splice plus 125. Another 2 p.m. matchup. This is one of the closer odds matchups of the day. What do you think? What?
Yeah, so when the bookies are putting pluses and minuses a lower number, that means they think it's pretty much a coin flip. So they're pretty much saying Rise is a small favorite, but Splice has a pretty good chance to win here. But I don't think it's like that at all. I think Rise should beat Splice here pretty handedly.
Yep.
You look at Splice in the Pro League. Fellow came in, Jerd came in. They just looked okay, whereas Rise have looked absolutely dominant. They got third place in NOLA. They've been beating everybody that's anybody. I think Rise should easily be a high favorite here, so I'm going to take the value at minus 175.
Yeah, this is another one I'm betting heavy. heavy on Rise for sure. Um, I like Splice a lot as a team. I hope they do well. I like all the guys on that team. But Rise is just performing at another level right now compared to
Absolutely.
Splice.
So let's move on to our next line. This line opened at Envy plus 150 and Red minus 200. When people bet on a team, the odds get worse. So people have been betting on Envy, and now Envy's plus 110, which means they've moved a 40 points difference. So uh, I like Envy here either way. I wanted to bet them big on 150. I'm going to still bet them at plus 110. I think they're the sleeper team in this tournament. Red's a good team too, but when you're betting coin flips, you're going to take the easy odds. So I'm going to take Envy.
Yeah, this one, I'm staying away from this matchup. I'm not betting on it. Red has looked really good. Envy has looked really good.
Yeah,
I just
it's one of those coin flips.
It's hard
It
to pick a
is.
winner on this one.
It is. It
This
is.
one I don't feel confident either way because I know Envy hasn't showed up before and I know Red hasn't showed up before.
Yep.
They're It's just which team shows up on at this time.
See, the way I'm looking at it is, Red has the teamwork, right? I mean, you got a veteran leader in Josh, but if you're looking at sheer matchups, you're talking Slasher versus Rated. I'm giving Slasher. You're talking Joe versus Huke or Classic. I'm giving Classic or Huke every time. And then you got the young gun Temp, who could just wipe people out versus Joe. I mean, I just think their roster is better, and if they've performed like they did in the Pro League, I think they can beat Red.
Yeah, yeah, I can see that. Yeah, I'm still not giving a pick just because I don't see. It's just not. This one's one of the harder ones for me. I'm not betting it. Way says Envy, so I'll say Envy.
Nice of you to agree with me there.
Next, we got TK at minus 800 versus EG plus 300. This is really interesting in my eyes.
Let me just correct you
with
there.
how-
Sorry. EG started at plus 450, and now they're at plus 300. So TK is actually minus 600 right now. So they went
Minus
down.
600.
Yeah, so they're less of
Okay.
a favorite. But they started off as a
Ye-
huge favorite.
Yeah, from minus 800 to minus 600, still crazy favorite. I don't see TK being that big of a favorite against them right now.
I don't either.
The book,
I did not either.
The bookies are obviously giving them the benefit of the doubt because they won the first two events. So that's obviously what's happening. But the way TK's been playing lately, I just don't see them. I would say this is more a minus 300 match. That's
Yeah,
what
I would
at,
agree
around
with you.
that.
I mean, you could find some value. Obviously, people bet at plus 450 all the way down to plus 300, so people are finding value in EG. EG hasn't
Yeah.
looked too good, but like I said before in the groups, Apathy's a really good sub,
Yeah,
and he can
yeah,
compete with Kenny big time.
yeah, for sure. Yeah, I'm taking EG in this match. I'm betting low just because I'm not betting much on it because there's a big return on it if it hits, and I don't feel super confident in it. But this is one of those matchups that I'm taking the underdog and just hoping for the best.
Yeah, same here. You don't want to put your whole bankroll on something like this, especially with TK. Have been winning all year, but they haven't looked that good. And if you want to put a little bit of money, I mean, plus 300 is still pretty value here to me
Yeah.
too. So
For sure. I would, if you think TK is going to win, I just wouldn't bet the game at all. I don't see. I wouldn't risk putting money on TK at minus 600.
yeah, it's not worth it.
Yeah, maybe if you get a map spread, you could bet on that. But the straight up money line, I would not bet on this game if you think TK is going to win.
All right, so our next matchup, and this is our first true coin flip. We got Unilad minus 120 and Mindfreak minus 120, which means it's a 50-50 toss-up. Who you like and read?
Man, I was going back and forth on this one.
Same
for a while.
here, same here.
Well, what did you come up with? I'm curious.
I came up with Unilad. Just the way
Okay.
Scraps have been playing, and Unilad has beaten some good teams. I mean, they beat FaZe. You can't say Mindfreak has beaten the good teams. Yeah, you could say, oh, they took good teams to Game 5, but that's not beating anybody.
Yeah.
And you're talking about Scraps and Wuskin. They've had success in the pro leagues before. Even Moose has had success in pro leagues, whereas Mindfreak have
Yeah.
always seemed to be that bottom feeder team. If it's a coin flip, I'm going to put good amount of money on Unilad. I trust them more.
Okay. This one, I'm going the opposite on you. I'm going Mind Freak.
Uh-oh.
Mind Freaks performed well in the Pro League. They Not, I guess I can't say
No,
well
I
because they're
mean I agree. They
relegated,
have they
but
have played well. They just haven't won. You
they've
know what I mean?
yeah
Like,
they've played good Call of Duty, but I think that's the same way with Unilad in these past few events. They've got into game fives. They've played good Call of Duty, but they just can't pull it
so
through.
it's going to come down to who you think is going to win a game five, in Unilad versus Mindfreak. I just don't see anybody taking over the game for Mindfreak. I could see Scraps. I could see Wuskin, who's a great S&D player. I could see Moose, who's a veteran. But who in Mindfreak's going to take over? I mean, I've seen them almost throw away game fives that they have won, let alone the ones they've lost. So that's why I take Unilad.
Yeah, I can see the argument for both sides. I'm sticking with Mind Freak though. Um, I'm I haven't decided if I'm going to put money on this. If I do, it's going to be low. It's not going to be much, but I would put it on Mind Freak.
I'm putting probably a couple units on Unilad. I just really trust them on this one.
Respect. Okay. Next up, this is a good one. FaZe. Are they still at? Is it minus 200?
They started off as minus 160, and now they're at minus 200, and EU
Okay.
is at plus 140.
Okay. I'm putting the Hope Diamond on FaZe.
You stole that? I think that's in the museum, man.
Yeah. Well, I'm taking it and getting half a Hope Diamond back
You're going to sell your
because
car. You're taking out a second mortgage. Like,
yeah,
tell me why you like FaZe that much. I'm
this
curious.
is the lock of the century.
Yes.
Usually, what I've said that a few times, and I've paid dearly for it. But this one,
It's it.
United is just they're not looking good.
They're
To be
not.
honest,
I mean,
let's call it how it is.
And-
FaZe is looking good.
and to watch them, FaZe whoop United 3-0 in the Pro League was one of the worst performances I've ever seen out of a team in EU. I
Yeah.
think they got 100-point club. It's like 6-0 and capture the flag. Like, I just didn't know what I was watching.
Yeah, I'm betting heavy, 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 heavy FaZe, and I, w- I just don't see any way United wins this game, and the odds that the bookies are giving us are a gift from God, I think.
Yeah, I put minus 200 is pretty good, I think, too. But, I mean, EU United, they scare me, man, to be honest with you. Like, they show up, they take LG to game fives when they're looking bad, and then they get 3-0'd by FaZe. Like, I don't know what EG team I'm going to get, but I mean EU team I'm going to get, but the way they performed against FaZe last time, FaZe with the sub pressure of 3 subs versus E United, which has kind of a traditional, more slow AR players. I think with the new meta, I agree with you too. FaZe big time.
Yeah, it's tough for United to play with this because they got Clayster, who AR, Arcides. I would say he's more of an AR. Silly,
Yeah.
definitely an AR player.
Absolutely.
Pristini's just running around with his head cut off,
He has
basically
no support at all.
trying to win solo gunfights against 2 or 3 subs. It's just until they get that figured out, and it's not as easy as just switching an AR to a sub. I mean, you have to get used to that role.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's
And even-
hard to just interchange those.
Even one of the casters was saying that he heard that people were saying E United still doesn't know how to play this game. And you don't know
Yeah.
how to play the game. You don't know how to get your rotations. You don't know how to get the spawns. You're talking about replays, a world champion who wrote the book on Call of Duty. He knows everything. He's not the
Yeah.
best shot. He won't go off that much. But he will win you a game just from his brains alone. So, I mean, I can't
Yeah.
see United winning against them.
Yep. So we're both betting FaZe. I'm calling that a lock.
All right, lock it up.
And I would go heavy on it.
All right, next one we got the biggest favorite of the day. We got OG minus 1200 versus Era plus 600 at 5 o'clock. Who do you like it, Reed?
Optics winning. I'm not betting it. It's not worth it.
That's pretty simple, but I want to go a little more in depth in here. Era beat Optic in the Pro League, and I know there's recency
This is
by
true.
it, but I mean, if you could beat him once, you can beat him again.
Yeah.
And at plus
I-
600, that's pretty juicy.
Yeah, it is.
You
It
know
is
what I mean?
juicy.
Like-
Optic does look shaky on Fridays as well.
Like, yeah.
That's been their MO for the past
Absolutely.
4 years.
Absolutely. I would never ever put 1200 on Optic to win, but if you're betting Era
Yeah.
at plus 600, you need them to win one game out of 7 series versus Optic. Are you
Yeah.
gonna be man enough to take that bet? I mean, I am absolutely.
Yeah, it's definitely good value. If you think Optic's winning, don't bet it.
I mean, I wouldn't
If
bet
you think
crazy on
Era
it, but
has
a little tiny bet here, or maybe throw it
Yeah.
in with a crazy parlay, just trying to hit $1
Yeah.
for like 1,000 or something. I mean, throw
Yeah.
Era in, see what happens. I mean, I
Yeah,
think
for
Optic's
sure.
gonna win, but Era can win just as easy, if it's their
Yep.
day.
Yeah, for sure. So we're saying Optic's going to win, but if there's a lot of value on Era, if you want to go that way,
Exactly.
and they've beaten them before. OG looks kind of slow on Fridays a lot, so there's a potential upset there and good
Absolutely.
value on Era. Next, we'll go. We got Splice versus Echo Fox. Splice is minus 275. Echo Fox is plus 200.
Uh,
This is an interesting one, to say the least.
yeah, I looked at this one over a lot, and it's gonna seem like I'm an EU hater, like I don't like Europe, but I like Echo Fox here. Like they gain their confidence. You could tell they gain their confidence. They placed well before. Every person in that team is a slayer, like somebody who can just slay out. And I'm not saying Splice isn't the same way, but when you're talking about plus 200 and you're getting that kind of value, I'm betting
Yeah,
Echo Fox, especially if I think it's a coin flip versus Splice. I don't think Splice should be that heavy a favorite at all.
yeah. The one, this one, This is my plan of attack for this game. I'm going to bet it. I'm gonna wait until this Rise vs Splice game. I'm gonna watch that first map, see how Splice looks, and then make my decision off of that.
That's absolutely a
Um,
good idea. I was doing that in the pro league. Like, if a team was playing twice in one day, you can kind of get their attitude or how if they came to play today on that first match. During that
yeah,
match, you can just slam the money with or against that team, and
yeah,
make a pretty good decent. So I understand that strategy. I like that strategy.
yeah. And Splice playing Rise earlier in the day should help them be super warmed up for Echo
True,
Fox,
true.
which is I still think it's a crazy line. I don't think they should be this heavy of a favorite against Echo Fox with how both teams have been looking lately. But I'm gonna bet it. I'm gonna say Splice is gonna win, but I could see myself putting money on Echo Fox based on that first map versus Rise,
Yeah, you could definitely see
and
what's
that's
going
why
on.
I'm waiting.
Yep, I agree. So let's go on our next matchup. We got Envy minus 450 versus Mind Freak at plus 300 at 630. What do you like, Reed?
Another interesting one. I think Envy will win, but based on how they're playing. Envy did lose to Mind Freak at Dallas
Yep.
to get knocked out of the tournament, and I remember. I think that was the Temp was going crazy on Twitch one day before and saying how he was going to win the event, and then he got knocked out by Mind Freak. I remember that.
That's that.
I
That's that
remember
mind
that.
freak where they could show up. I mean, they were
Yeah,
literally one. If Buzzo shot the guy off a bomb in 5-5 overtime fifth map, we might be talking about how Mind Freak could win this match. I mean, like, they
yeah,
play to show up sometimes, you know.
yeah, for sure. I think Envy will win, but this is another matchup like that Era matchup previously,
Yeah,
um, or those two Era matches previously, honestly, where I could put
yeah,
a little bit
a
of
little bit
change
of
on
money.
Mind Freak. I wouldn't I wouldn't bet much at all on Mind Freak. I think Envy will win. I think they figured things out since Dallas and Nola. Um, I'm taking Envy. It wouldn't shock me though if it wouldn't completely shock me if Mind Freak won
Yeah.
though somehow.
To me, I don't think Mind Freak stands a chance here, but minus 450 is just way too much money to lay. If you want to add
Yeah,
an Envy to a parlay, maybe like a safe parlay, you can.
yeah,
But I just can't see Envy losing this match unless something happens where they just lose a veto or something. I mean, I don't see it
yeah,
happening.
yeah, for sure. Okay, yeah, I'm not gonna bet that match, but well,
Yeah, it'll be an
if you want
interesting
to,
one for sure.
yeah. Then we got LG versus EG. LG minus 500, EG plus 330.
This one, my notes, I literally just put not much to see here, which I think there's not much to see here. I mean, LG should easily win this one. I don't think EG has a chance, but at minus 500, you're not going to get enough value to bet EG or LG either. So
Yeah, LG is another team where they just look in that division B they're in, right?
there's that
They,
upper top teams that just don't lose versus bad teams, and LG
yeah,
is one of those. Like there's a lot of teams that lose to bad teams like Mind Freak and Vitality and whoever, but LG is just so solid. You got some of the best players in the game. Like I don't see them losing to EG.
yeah. I see LG winning handily. I think they're one of the best teams in the world right now. I I'm not going to bet it. Again, the odds aren't great. Maybe parlay it. Maybe you could parlay this game, the Envy versus Mindfreak game, and the Optic game
Yeah, I
versus
mean, you
Era.
might get like a cool like minus 120 odds or something. I mean,
Yeah, yeah, that could be a good, nice little parlay there.
yeah.
Just those three favorites. But straight up, I'm not betting this game. I don't see EG having a chance, and I see LG steamrolling them.
Yep. All right, so our next one is going to be a European matchup. You got Red Reserve minus 600 versus Unilad plus 350 at 6:30. What do you like, Reed?
I think Red will win. I'm curious what you think though, since you seem to be high on Unilad. I assume you're betting Uni on this.
That's absolutely right. You know me too well. I think Red's a little overvalued. I mean, I've seen them win, but I've also seen them choke games. And you're getting
Yep.
plus 350 at Unilad, a team that has the players to go up against Red Reserve toe to toe. I mean, Red Reserve has better teamwork, but once Unilad starts figuring the game out, which I think they have in Pro League, I mean, they haven't been too good. I think they got a decent shot at winning here. And a plus 350, I mean, you want to throw a little bit of money on it.
Yeah, yeah. I wouldn't bet this if you think Red's winning. I definitely think it's overvalued. I think those odds for Unilat are really good. I think that's one of the better underdogs you could pick from the Friday matchups. I would say, odds wise and actual chance of winning. I think that's one of the better ones. I'm staying away from this game though. I think Red's gonna win, but I could see Unilad winning, and the odds are in your favor there.
Absolutely.
Okay, moving on. This one is super interesting.
Yeah, this
Era
is, you just said,
plus 275 versus E United minus 400.
and you just said that Unilad was the best underdog you could pick. I strongly believe that United is just not here to show up. I mean, they got the talent, but they're just not here. Era, on the other
Yeah,
hand, you got a brand new player. You have a team that just beat getting relegated, and they're here to play. I mean, they're
yeah,
the young guys. They've been grinding night after night. You got a veteran, and Ricky, who's leading them. What do you have in EU? I mean, Clayster might not even be there. I'm taking Era pretty handily at plus 275. I'll probably bet a couple units on that.
yeah. I'm betting heavy on Era tonight. Then I'm gonna once I get confirmation on Clayster or once I see their first match of the day, I'll decide whether I'm betting more or not. The one thing that scares me with E United is if Clayster shows up, he might have that fire just because of what's going on in his
Yeah,
life.
and
He
yeah,
might
and
be
let's
completely
say a
focused
word.
on
Like, I hope
everything.
everything works out for him too.
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
You know, to like to see that to somebody who's been such a staple in the scene for so long. You know,
Yeah, yep, for sure.
but
But definitely a good matchup for the underdog. I'm I'm putting money on Era pretty heavy, plus 275, great odds. I see those diminishing or going down. I think it'll get bet down to at least plus 200.
yeah, I think so too. I mean, I would take it early before it's too
Yeah.
late, especially with you don't know what's going on with United. So,
Yep.
the next one, this is probably my second best matchup of the night, just in
Yeah,
terms of
there's a
watching
lot of
it.
good
Yeah,
games
exactly.
on Friday.
So we got Optic Gaming minus 175 versus FaZe plus 125. What are you thinking?
I'm thinking Optic. Anytime I see Optic less than minus 200, I'm pretty much taking it every time, just because of the roster they
This
have.
isn't Jetpack game though, you know.
It's not a jetpack game, that's true. But I think Optic worked a lot of the kinks out. I think they're playing well. They're playing well with the new meta. Formal looks pretty good with the sub in his hand. He ran sub back in
Yeah, he
Ghost,
did look
so
pretty good.
he has a bit of experience running the sub, which is necessary based on the new meta for sure on some of these maps. FaZe has been looking really good with the three subs. I think it's either way, it's good value.
Yeah,
Either way you go, I'm taking Optic though.
me personally, I just look at it from a matchup point of view. I mean, I think the only good matchup for Optic is Crimsix. They'll beat Replays, even though Replays is a very solid player. But you just take those three subs of FaZe versus three subs of OG, and they can compete any day of the
Yeah,
week. And how often can you say a team can compete at every level versus OG? It's not often.
yeah,
So
that's true.
I'm not really leaning one way or the other, but I would just have to pick FaZe because of the underdog, and I can see them winning here. So I'm going to have to go with FaZe plus 125.
Yeah, I'm gonna bet on this game. I'm gonna bet Optic. I'm not gonna bet very heavy, but this might be another game where I wait to see the 2 o'clock matches as well, and
Yeah,
then make my decision.
absolutely.
I think I'll just go on to the next one.
Yeah, sure.
Rise versus Echo Fox. Rise is minus 350. Echo Fox is plus 250. What do you think?
I got. I mean, Rise is minus 350, but they've been smacking around Echo Fox. Like Gunless has
Yeah,
a fire lit in him. Gunless has looked like easily one of the best flex players there is. Echo
yeah,
Fox has a lot of raw talent, but Rise is just firing on all cylinders. So I might even think there's a little bit of value at minus 350, to be honest.
yeah. Gunless is he's back to that early IW form for sure right now. He's making a case for being one of the better players in the world right now.
Absolutely.
TJ Haley is a monster.
He's the best S&D player in the game.
This is probably the best game Methods has ever had. He's been around forever.
Yeah, for a decade, man.
And he was always on the cusp. Always, he would have a few good placements here and there, but could never put it all together. This game,
He's here to play.
he's just
He's here to play.
Yeah, he's on another level right now.
And then-
And then Looney doing the dirty work.
I was exactly going to say that. I think Looney's one of the most underrated players in the game. Like,
Yeah.
everything he does is right. He never makes a incorrect Call of Duty play, and he's just the glue that holds that team together, just lets the Slayers go off, and he can even drop numbers himself and make plays. So when you got somebody
Yeah.
doing the dirty, like if you look at Red Reserve, Joe goes negative all the time, and yeah, he is doing the dirty work. But if you look at Looney, he's doing the same dirty work, and he's not going negative. He's going off.
Yeah.
So that's why I think Rise is going to win easily
Yeah.
versus Echo Fox.
Yeah, and it's just like when TK was. I'm going back to TK, but
Sure.
when TK was winning those events, Theory was he was doing Looney's job, but going double neg. Rise has figured out the game to the same level as TK, I think now, and Looney is going positive, a little bit negative. It's just
But
they're performing at another
not
level right now.
even that they figured out the game, but they're just a better TK. I mean,
Yeah.
just the matchup wise. I
honestly.
mean, Gunless is a better Chino. Methods is a better accuracy. TJ Haley, I mean, I would say Kenny has the edge on that one, but TJ Haley has a game mode that nobody can even touch him in. And then Looney's a
Yeah.
lot better than Theory at dirty work. So, I mean, you just look up from a matchup standpoint and just how good their teamwork is. I think they're the team to beat.
Yeah, for sure. And yeah, as you said, Gunless dropped by Echo Fox, picked up by Rise. That's, I guess, both teams kind of got better from that. I remember when that first went down, everyone thought for sure both teams got better. I don't really know about that at this point. Rise 100% got better.
100%.
I think Echo Fox, they're starting to figure it out, but I think they probably would have performed better with Gunless on their
Yeah.
team still.
I think so too. I think they just dropped somebody that's kind of new to the scene. I mean, he's not that new. He's been playing since Black Ops 3, but they just chose, your friends from 7 years ago that you know
Yeah.
can play rather than
Yeah.
the young guy who's proven himself. So I think they made
Yeah.
a mistake there. Not to say that Echo Fox can't play, because they've certainly shown that they can play in every single game, but Rise just
Yep.
too good.
Yep, for sure.
All right, so let's move on to the next line. We got Envy minus 400 versus Unilad at plus 275, and this is one of the late games at 9:30. This one, I know I like Unilad, but I'm not going to touch this one. I just think Envy's too good. I mean, Unilad's shown the ability to show up, but Envy, just their slaying power and their star power, I don't think Unilad can keep up. And I'm not betting Envy at minus 400. So I'm just going to have to pass on this game. What do you think, Reed?
Yeah, I'm staying away from it. I think Envy's gonna win. I don't see value in either team really, though. Yeah, I'm with you. I'm staying away from it. I think Envy's gonna win. Maybe this could be another game with a safe parlay or a risky parlay.
Yeah, it's one of those
Whichever way
ones
you
where
go.
you can either have a safe parlay and make a little bit of money if you think Envy's going to win, or you can have a crazy parlay and make a huge amount of money if you think Uni's going to win. But
Yeah.
I think Envy's a safe bet here if anybody
Yeah.
wants to bet it at all.
Yep, for sure. And then
Matchup
now
of the
we're
night.
on to the
Matchup of the
last
night.
matchup. LG versus TK. LG's what did they start at?
They-
minus one.
They opened up at minus 110, which means they were
minus 110.
they were the underdog to TK at minus 125. That's what they opened at. Uh,
Okay.
LG now is up to minus 190, and TK is at plus 130, which means this is probably the biggest line push of the night. I mean, you can see it there. LG's been looking nothing but good. TK's been looking pretty bad. I don't see why LG would be underdog. I think the line's kind of evened out now, but I can easily
Yep.
see it pushing up even more to maybe minus 250, just with the way TK's been looking. What do you think, Reed?
Yep. Like the I like LG. Another huge lock for me, along with the FaZe versus United game. I would say these two are my biggest locks. I'm taking LG. I'm putting a lot on it, and I, TK, they haven't looked good. Maybe you can wait until the first couple games of the day but the odds are just going to keep going up for LG. Money's going to be on LG for sure.
Yeah, I'm just gonna throw it out there. I mean, TK have looked like a train wreck recently.
Yeah.
I mean, they haven't been closing on anything. They've just the way they lost to Red Reserve was just an absolute embarrassment. I mean, I don't want to diss the guys. They won 2 tournaments. Congratulations to them. But LG's on the up and up, and TK's on the
Yep.
down low, like going
Yep.
down a train.
Yeah. And
So
LG, I feel like, is a team flying under the radar somehow.
they are.
They have
They are.
they have probably definitely 2 top 10 players in Octane and John.
And honestly,
John
one
has
of the greatest
John
players
has
ever
been
too.
yeah,
Forget
and
about
Jacob.
that.
I mean, John has been a top 5 player since Black Ops 1.
Forever.
Honestly, I think.
Forever. When he played with Fear, he was like the top player, man.
Yeah.
Like
I remember the first event in Black Ops 1. He was on Ground Zero with Parasite. He came out of nowhere, and I think they got like 3rd that event.
I
and
just don't know how they missed
They
him,
weren't
man.
even
Like,
yeah. They came Ground Zero. I'm pretty sure came out of open bracket at Dallas, the first event of Black Ops 1,
yeah.
and just took it to everybody. And he has not stopped. He's been
Not even stop. He hasn't even slowed down, man.
yeah,
Like,
yeah. He just gets overshadowed by a lot of people. He doesn't have the same type of personality as like a Scump or one of those guys that has a
he's
big
quiet
following
guy,
or anything.
but-
He's quiet, keeps to himself. So I think that's why he gets the underrated tag. You don't hear from him much.
I mean,
But he's been a top player for forever, as you said.
is it just mind blowing that the team that went to Game 5 of the second series to win the grand final last event has been flying so under the radar? You know,
Yeah, yeah. I imagine how scary Envy would be if they stayed together.
yeah, it's like a.
Like that's got to be in Slasher's mind.
Oh man, just how good
if he-
Apathy's looked and John's looked, and then you got
Yeah.
one of the best boots of the ground player of all time in JCab.
Yeah, if Envy goes a couple more events without winning, that's just gonna eat away at Slasher.
Slasher,
I'm sure.
that was, I mean, in the beginning of the game, that looked like one of the worst roster changes ever. I mean,
Yeah.
they've looked better now, but they've yet to win an event or anything.
Yep.
So, I mean, you know how much I'm high on Slasher. I think he's one of the best players ever, but that roster change wasn't a very good move, in my
Yeah.
opinion. So,
As it goes now, I mean, LG definitely got the better of it.
yep. So again, we're both taking LG here big. We're not too
Yep.
high and mighty on TK, so I would take LG at minus 190 before it gets any higher.
Yep, for sure. So now, those are the games we're going over for Friday. As Saturday's odds come up, we're gonna post on our website we're definitely gonna post a few articles this weekend.
Yeah, be sure to go to action.gg and just check out the articles we have. We're gonna have so many tips like these, write-ups, analysis. It's gonna be pretty good.
Yep. When the Saturday lines come out, we'll definitely post an article with who with our picks are for Saturday and Sunday. So that's that. We're gonna move forward now. We're hitting odds to win the entire event now.
Oh, you
So
love
I'm
you
just
love your
gonna-
futures, huh?
Yeah, I'm just gonna go through this list here. So Optic and Rise are the 2 favorites. They're both plus 350. We got TK at plus 550, LG plus 550, United and Splice plus 1100, Envy plus 1400, Echo Fox plus 1600, EG plus 2500, Mind Freak plus 3300, Unilad plus 3300, any open bracket team plus 3300, Era plus 4,000. That's disrespectful. Disrespectful to Era on a whole nother
The
level.
open
And
teams
then
got odds over them.
and then Vitality plus 5,000, which I would say is disrespectful, but it's not based on
Oh,
how
I don't
Vitality
know.
select.
That's that French team, man. I don't know what's going on in France, but
Yeah.
let's
I mean,
forget
I
about
like
them.
listening
Like,
to their. I like their listen-ins. They're fun.
I don't know. I took Spanish class in high school, man. I didn't take no French, so
I took French. I don't know any of it.
of course. Anyway, so let's see if we can get some value from this. A couple of ones I bolded. Rise and LG, they're kind of shorter odds. I don't really
Uh
see if
huh.
you can find them any value in that. I personally like both those teams win the event, especially LG at plus 5,500. This is a team that came within a cusp of winning the event.
Plus 550.
Yeah, that's what I meant. I'm sorry. Plus 550. So you get 5.5 on your money. I think that's pretty good. But the
Yeah, that's good.
underdog sleeper I'm liking is Envy at plus 1,400.
Yeah, that's a
That's who
good
you're
value
looking
right
at,
there.
right? Plus
Yeah.
1,400.
I mean, that's the one that sticks out for sure.
Especially people have been underrating them. They look so good in the pro league. They have the talent. I mean, they haven't been performing at the events, but once that talent wakes up, like they're there. They're right up there
Yeah.
with the top teams.
Yeah.
So,
Uh, Optic. I mean, it's plus
I
350.
mean, it's not that I don't like
They're
Optic to
always
win.
a
It's
chance
just
to win.
it's such a
Yeah.
small odds. Like you're gonna
Yeah.
take
Small
Optic over
odds.
200 teams for
Yeah.
3.5. You know?
Yeah. Rise, same thing, plus 350. I think they're one of the top teams, but not a lot of value. TK, no way.
Yeah.
TK, no way.
TK no day.
LG plus 550. Yeah, I think that's a good one. United plus 1100. Nope. Splice plus 1100. Potentially,
Yeah,
if they
maybe,
start, if
maybe.
they figure it out, that's another one.
I'm kind of mad they don't have the line for Red Reserve up yet.
Yeah, yeah, that would be
I would
interesting.
like to see what they had. I think they'd
They're
have it.
probably around plus
I'd,
14, plus 16,
ooh,
somewhere
I'd
in
take
that
them.
range.
Yeah. See, I think they've looked better than Splice, to be honest. So if anything above Splice, I would take them at. I mean, I would even push
Yeah,
them at like plus 800, plus 850. I'd take them.
yeah. I mean, at NOLA when they just 3-0'd everybody
Oh, they
and
were
on Sunday,
running a
they
train.
just rolled through everybody.
Yeah, for sure. Uh,
But then we got Echo Fox plus 16. That's, I mean, if Echo Fox shows up, that's a good value there.
uh,
EG, I don't
I don't see
see
anybody
them winning.
after Echo Fox winning.
Yeah,
Those are
Mind
just those
Freak,
odds.
don't see it
You
happening.
put a $10 on, and you just cross your fingers and hope to go to Vegas.
Yeah,
It ain't gonna happen.
yeah, yeah, and then the rest are just there. So I think LG, Envy, maybe
Splice,
Splice.
maybe, yeah. Red
Those are
Reserve,
really
see what they
the
are.
three. If you're gonna bet on this type of odd, those would be the three to go for.
Yep.
And then we're gonna round out with who you think your top four is and who's gonna win the event.
All right, so I'm not gonna give a top four. I'm gonna go backwards from
Okay.
4 to 1. So fourth,
Okay.
I've got Red Reserve. They've looked super solid. They're my team from Europe. I felt like I had to put a team from Europe in here. I had like 20 teams I could have put forth, but just how
Yeah.
solid they play. You got a veteran in Josh. You got a dirty work player that's one of the best in Joe, and you got a solid AR and rated. I'm gonna put them fourth. Third, it's gonna surprise some people. I put Envy. I
Okay.
just feel like they've been showing up and they know what it takes to win an event. I mean, you got a world champion on that team, and you got a world champion in Halo on that team too. I mean,
Yeah.
just from everything. So, number two, I got LG. That's a pretty solid, safe pick. They've been in that spot before. You got one of the best subs in the game, one of the best ARs in the game, one of the smartest players of all time. I mean, you can't count them out. And then first, I think it's pretty obvious. I've got Rise for first. They've just looked at the best team in the
Wow.
game. They got the best players in the game right now, and they've just been performing at a great level at every event and the Pro League. I'm
So
curious to see what
so
you
you
say.
you have Optic outside the top four again.
Like I said, I I had so many teams I could have put in fourth. I could have went with the route where I had said TK is going to show up. I could have gone with the route where Splice is good. I could have gone the route where EU is going to show back up. Or I could have went with
Yeah.
OG just because they're always winning. But OG hasn't proved anything to me, man.
Yeah.
They haven't proved anything in any of
I
these.
can-
I mean, they got third at the first event, but the game's
Yeah.
a completely different game since then. And until they show up, I can't really put them in my top four.
I wonder. It's probably been years since they went back to back opens without getting top four. If that were to happen,
Oh yeah, that would be a good
it's
stat.
it's
to
probably
look up.
been forever.
I mean,
Um,
they could show up though, easily.
yeah. Any given Sunday, right?
Absolutely. I mean, they could win the whole event, to be honest, if they show up, but who knows?
Yeah. So my top four, I'll do the same thing you're doing.
All right, let's hear it.
Fourth, I'm taking Splice.
Interesting.
Wild card team for sure. Bance, Jerd, I think those are two of the better players in the world. And again, underrated players definitely just because they're European. You don't hear about them as much, but
They're the best team in Europe, just on talent wise. On a piece of
talent
paper,
wise, yep,
those are the four best players in the Europe.
yep, yep. Red's been performing better lately, but Splice talent wise definitely better.
Yeah.
Third, I've got Optic. It's tough for me to any event they're going in as one of the favorites with the roster
it's
they
hard to
have.
bet against them. Like they're plus
Yeah,
350 for a reason to win the whole damn thing when they haven't even won
yeah,
the pro league or haven't even gotten to a winners final. I mean not a winners final, excuse me, a championship final. So I mean everybody loves this team and everybody hypes up this team and
yeah,
they could show up. I mean I'm not counting them out. It's just they haven't proved to me anything.
yep. Second, this was a tough one for me.
Uh-oh.
I'm putting Rise
Oh,
at
wow.
number two.
Interesting.
Um, I they're one of the, if not the best, they're one of the best for sure.
For sure.
With how they've been performing, but I'm taking LG to
LG to
win
win
the
it
event.
all.
Yep, LG to win it all. They have the necessary composure. They have the players that are used to winning championships.
Yep.
I mean, Rise, when you really think about it,
Yeah, they're
they have
inexperienced. They're
they have
inexperienced.
Looney won an event in IW, right? He won the first one.
Yep, Gunless has won one and been to the finals for
Won
another one. Methods have never really been that
never.
superstar. TJ's been out for a while. I mean, he's played in
Yeah,
some pretty
I
big
mean,
tournaments, but he's
yeah,
never played in the
he
LAN
lost
tournament.
he lost the Optic like 4 times in the grand finals in AW.
Yeah, so he's been there.
So yeah, he's been there, but the experience level on LG and how they're performing, I like them a lot. And probably the one player that can match TJ or at least come close to TJ and S&D is Octane right now.
Oh,
That's
it's
the
not
one counter.
it's not even like Octane's the best player. It's that whole damn team's the best player at S&D. Like just
Yeah,
their strategies, just hit a bomb site, take over, and Octane just laser beams people. You know, like
yeah,
how can you stop that? I mean, you got
yeah.
to commit two
His
or
shot is
three.
disgusting.
It's always two versus three or like 2-on-4 or 3-on-4 at the bomb site because they all just hit it at once. It's like a jetpack strategy and it's working so well
Yeah,
on boots on the ground. I love
yeah,
their S&D.
yeah. And the one team that I like Envy as well. I could see him placing in the top four for sure. That's probably the one team that I left out that I was having trouble leaving out.
Yeah, it's
Was
hard to count them out right now. I mean, they haven't
yeah,
really proven anything. So you could take the same attitude I had about Optic. I mean, besides Optic's place top three, but and say it about Envy. I mean, what have they shown me that they can do?
yeah,
Nothing yet.
yeah, for sure. All right, so I think that brings us to the end of our little preview for Atlanta and the first day of matches there. Um, as I said, we're going to be posting more on Saturday and Sunday with different odds that we like to take once those lines come out. But I think that brings us to the end here.
Yep. So, just visit us at action.gg. Way, I'm going to be posting my locks. Reed's going to be posting his locks too. We're going to be posting opinion articles, podcasts, everything. So
Yep.
just check us out. We're trying to do a lot of good in the community, really provide you guys with some fresh content. So give us some support, and we'll help you out.
Yeah, for sure. It's been real.
All right, guys. Catch you later.
See ya.